Hey beauties, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. My name is Winnie and you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be making this kimono puffy blouse. It is very easy to make and it is beginners friendly. It is a requested video from the 50 plus style inspirations that I posted earlier, and the person said I should do all the styles in that video. I'm not going to be doing all the styles, but I'll do quite a number. So what you will please do for me to encourage me is to like my videos, share my videos, and drop thank you in the comment section down below, because it's going to make the algorithm know that you love the video and post it to a wider audience. Thank you. So without too much talking, let's dive straight into the tutorial. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. So this is my first practice and we are going to be practicing together. I used an Ankara fabric of about 2 yards. You are going to be needing more than that. You can get 3 yards for yours to be on a safe side, because mine was not enough, and I folded it into two, the front and the back, and it was having about 32 inches in length. I measured my neckline from the nape of my shoulder of my neck, from the nape of my neck at the back up to where I wanted the design to stop, and you can multiply by that by 2, or you can just add few inches to it to make it wide enough. So the length of this Ankara fabric is about 15 inches. You know that it stops at the underbust, so I added about 5 inches to it because of the puff, which was too much. So when you are doing yours, you should add about 3 inches or 2 inches to it. That will suffice. So I just turned it to the other side so that I can draft my neckline. So the width is about 32 inches and I have 1 inch allowance for zip for the back. So I'm marking out my neckline now, which is about 3 inches by 1 inch for the back and 3 inches by 3 inches for the front neckline. So now I am cutting out my back neckline and the zip overlap, and then I'm going to cut out my front neckline also. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to work on my shoulder slant. So I went down from that edge by 2 inches, and then I'm going to connect it to the nape of my, to the width of my, that 3 inch width of my neckline. I'm just going to connect it like so, and then I am going to cut it out. So the fold I used was 32 inches. You can do more if you like, but I would advise that you don't do too much, because when it ends up too puffy, you are not going to be liking the style. It will not give what you actually want. So now working on the sleeve. The sleeve is a very free sleeve, so I just measured what I have on my sleeve circumference where I want it to stop, and then I added 3 inches to that to make it free enough. So that is what I'm going to be doing now. And then after marking that, I went inwards by another 3 inches, and then I just connected that, and then I cut it out just like we sew our kimono dress and everything. That's simple. Then I'm cutting out the down part just to straighten it and make everything look clean and fresh. So once that was done, that is basically it. We are done cutting. Now it's time to join it. So I'm going to open it up like this, and then I'll place the back on it, right side facing right side, and then I'll go ahead to go and join the shoulder. So I'll join the shoulder with 1/2 inch allowance on both sides. I'll join the two shoulder with 1/2 inch allowance on both sides like so. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to hem the sleeve and then join the sides with whatever allowance that you want to use. You can use 1 inch or 1/2 inch depending on how free you want your sleeve to be. So now I'm gonna head to join the shoulder. So before hemming the sides, I'm just going to hem the sleeve like so before joining the sides. So after I hem the sleeve, I've already joined the sides, and then I'm going to go ahead to iron my zip overlap of 1 inch that I left earlier. So I'm just going to iron that out, and then we are going to work on the band. Because my Ankara fabric was not enough, I'm using this white fabric for the band. for the sake of this tutorial, but I'm still going to wear this dress and post it. So I've measured out my waistline is about 31 inches, and then I marked that out. I marked 31 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance for the zipper, because the zip is going to be getting to the band. You have to keep your band as snatched as possible, because that is what is going to bring out the style. If your band is free and it's not snatched, it will not bring out the style. Then the length of the band that I used here was 9 inches, which was too much. I would advise that you use about 6 inches or at most 7 inches for your band length, because if your band is too much, if your band is too long, the style is going to be looking funny. These are the mistakes that I made when I was making mine, and I'm ensuring that you don't make that same mistake. Then the other thing I want to say is that the band on that dress is not straight, it was curvy. So I'm going to be doing an updated version of this blouse soon, so you can see what I'm talking about. So the band is not straight, but it still gave me what I wanted. So now, after cutting out the band, I'm just trying to confirm my measurements. And so at the top part of that band, you can just slant it a bit. The edge of the band at the middle point was like a V, so it was not straight. So that was what gave it the style and the arc that we have on that dress. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to gather the down part of my Ankara fabric to the band. So I'm just confirming the measurement, and then I took my Ankara fabric and then I'm going to gather the down part. You know, the down part is very wide and you have to gather it to the size of your band. You can first gather it before adding it to the band, or you can just split it as you sew and make it very, very tight. Make the pleats tight. Just do you. All right, so I've gone ahead to gather it to the band, and this is what it gave me. As you can see, it's already forming the style, just that the band was not meant to be straight, it was meant to be pointed. So now what I'm going to do is that at the shoulder area, I'm going to be putting an elastic. So I measured out my sleeve length where I wanted it to stop, so about 14 inches. So just cut that 14 inches for your band, for your measurement, and use it to gather the shoulder line. So it's going to stop at exactly where you want your sleeve to stop. I cut out a very long piece. I cut out about 22 when I was doing mine, and then I noticed that it was too long, so I had to cut it out again. I had to reduce it. So I ended up using the 14 inches, and then I dragged it as I sew. So it's going to gather it for you by the time you are done. So this was when I was reducing it. So you are just going to pull it as you sew, and then it's going to gather it for you. If you want more gathers, you are going to make the elastic shorter, but you know that your fabric length has to be longer for it to be very puffy. But that dress was not too puffy like that. It was not that puffy. So if you just use the length of the sleeve that you want and gather it, is going to give you the moderate size. So I've gone ahead to gather it, and then I went ahead to add the zip. So the zip is one that can open up, because you have to be fixing it from the back, and this was the band that I used. It was too long, so it was meant to be at most 7 inches. So I'm going to be making corrections before wearing this and showing you. So this was the final look. It was looking like the dress, but not exact. So wait for the updated version. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, give it a like, share and subscribe. Till I see you in the next one. I love you and I care. Bye.